Hello and welcome back to Fifth Third Arena on this snowy night here in Cincinnati as the Bearcats look to bounce back from a tough stretch of 3 close losses. Last time out, Cincinnati fell to number 6 ranked in the Big 12 UCF, where Jalen Celestine got within striking distance with a last-second shot, but they couldn't pull it out at the end. Ultimately, that has been the story of the start of the regular season here for these Bearcats, as they have lost 4 of their last 5 by a combined total of 10 points. Matthew, how can the Bearcats get on the right side of these close contests?
Look, you're playing a team at home that's 12-4 already on the season, 2-1 in the conference. The Bearcats are looking for their first conference win of the season, 0-3 in Big 12 play so far. It'd be a big momentum boost to not only get a win at home, but to get a conference win at that against a team that has won a couple of good games along their schedule. But the Bearcats, just the offensive production has been what's really held them back all season long. It's one of the best defenses in the entire country, 6th best according to KenPom, but that offense is bottom 200. They need to find a way to use the players they have on this roster to spark a flame to try to create some offensive production, whether that's through Baba Miller, Mustafa Siam. He had 24 against UCF a couple days ago. I mean, I really do think there is offensive production. It's just not continuous throughout the course of a game, and it's ultimately hurt them, and that's been the story of the season so far, is you have a great defense, but you got to score to win a basketball game.
Of course, and as of today, the Bearcats sit just above the basement of the Big 12 at number 2. At number 15, excuse me. After this game, the Bearcats they host number 2 Iowa State at home, number 2 nationally ranked Iowa State at home, and then they travel to Tucson to face the number 1 in the nation Arizona Wildcats. And with the early struggles Cincinnati has faced this year, is there a hotter seat in the Big 12 than Wes Miller's?
No, and that's definitely the question that's been asked around this program. This team has not made the tournament since 2019. It's been a 7-year drought. Wes Miller, while he did great at UNC, Greensboro, and from that entire area, playing in North Carolina, I mean, he knows the game of basketball. It's just that offensive production, like I said, has just been absolutely terrible in his 5-year tenure here, and that's been the story. I believe that there is a lot of talented players on the rosters, and there has been over the years. Adding Jizzle James back is definitely a huge help. I still think they need to look to some of these younger guys. Keyshawn Tillery is a guy that I really like, just a spark guy off the bench. He's going to give you a lot of effort and a lot of intensity. He can shoot the ball, he can pass the ball, and he's not afraid to drive down low. I think that the biggest thing the Cincinnati team is lacking is the tenacity that they have on the defensive end of the floor is lacking on the offensive end of the floor. They're not trying to get down low and fight through things in the paint. They're just trying to chuck the 3 because it's the easiest shot available. Sometimes that's not always the best thing to do. Go take the contact, go down low and get a bucket. I just think there's a lot of teams in college basketball as a whole that don't do that very often anymore. And I think that's been the biggest story for Wes Miller and his teams he's had over his tenure here. I really don't think there is a hotter seat in college basketball than Wes Miller's right now.
Now, of course, I'm getting ahead of myself. Staring them in the face tonight is number 7th ranked in the Big 12, the Colorado Buffaloes. Who are some players to look out for on the away side tonight?
Well, it's
play, 0-3 on the road, 0-3 in neutral sites. The only success they have had has come in Fifth Third Arena. They are 8-2 at home. So right now, playing in Fifth Third Arena is the best chance they have to get a win over these Buffs.
Yeah, again, Colorado is going to come in here and play at a very high level, 12-4 on the season. Both these teams kind of itching to get after each other. It'll be a fun Big 12 clash here at Fifth Third Arena here in about 15 seconds.
Now, something I want to point out is the clash in the paint with the 6'10", 270-pound starting center, Elijah Malone for the Colorado Buffaloes, and the 7'2", 250-pound center for the Bearcats in number 52, Mustafa Chiam.
Yeah, I really do think the first thing that needs to happen for Colorado is Coach Prime's got to give Malone a call and get him on that offensive line. Colorado, one of the worst offensive lines in all of college football, could use a guy like that out there.
Of course, Elijah Malone, the grad student, reached 2,000 points in his college career, over 100-plus three-point field goals for a big man, and spent 4 years with Grace College, where he averaged 14.1 points over 139 career games for Grace College.
Yeah, a true scorer, like you mentioned, and that's kind of hard to find nowadays in a lot of big men. It's really only the top 1% of all big men in basketball can score at such a high level. I mean, in the NBA, you're thinking about Nikola Jokic is one of the better scorers, and not only that, he's a three-way scorer. So having a very valuable big man, especially that can score at will, is super, super valuable.
Of course, Jalen Haynes out tonight with a lower body injury he sustained on October 13th. He might be out for the rest of the season, but another player who has been critical for the Bearcats all season out tonight in Kerr Krisha. He is out with a separated shoulder he suffered on Friday, January 2nd against Houston in their 60-67 loss. How critical is that missing spot for Cincinnati going to be tonight?
Well, it's going to be massive. Kerr Krisha, one of the better perimeter shooters in college basketball, but also probably the best on this Cincinnati team. So losing your best deep threat is definitely not going to benefit the Bearcats in any way, shape, or form. So with Krisha being out, again, it's really going to have them try to find a better offensive identity as a team. I really do believe that lies somewhere in the middle of creating three-point shots, but also getting to the rim. This team is not a terrific three-point shooting team, yet they let them fly at will.
Of course, they shoot 3-11 from three. Compared to the Colorado Buffaloes, they shoot 36.3% from beyond the arc, and they allow 36.5% of three-point shooting from beyond the arc. So far, the defense from the Buffaloes seems to favor this Cincinnati three-ball style.
Yeah, it is, and it's just going to come down to a matter of, are you knocking down shots? You've seen teams with high-powered offenses that really rely on three-point shooting being so hot and cold. One that comes to mind is Louisville. They were a preseason ranked top 10 team, climbed the rank to number 6 when they played Cincinnati. They have made between 15 threes in a game and 2 threes in a game. They did it against Duke last week, which was a terrific game. They were up by 13 at half and ended up blowing it away because they only made 2 threes in the second half. So it can be really, really dangerous when you take teams and apply them into situations like that where they really do rely on a three ball. It is such hot and cold offenses.
Now, both teams are pretty young, as you mentioned earlier. The Buffaloes have 8 freshmen, 4 sophomores, 2 juniors, no seniors, and 1 grad student coming in the way of Elijah Malone, compared to the Bearcats, who have 6 freshmen and 6 either seniors or grad students. How does experience play a role in today's game?
Wes Miller introduced here facing a crowd of boos here from Fifth Third Arena. Caught both me and Miles a little bit off guard, but back to what Miles was saying, I think that the experience is definitely important, but again, basketball is kind of one of the sports where it really is so free-flowing in the moment that it kind of doesn't matter. I think at a personal level with players, I think the experience matters, but I think as a team, the experience of having some of these guys is not as important as some think.
Now, a little bit more on Wes Miller. He, so far tonight, has been extremely unpopular here in Fifth Third Arena. It was proposed on the Cincinnati Barstool just a couple nights ago that the fans should wear paper bags tonight over their heads to cover their shame of how the Cincinnati, they just haven't. The fans think Wes Miller is a bad fit for this team, and they are not shy about letting their opinion be known. Where do you weigh in on this?
I think that you should be allowed to voice your frustrations, but I also think that you've given the guy enough time to where he has been a coach here. I mean, you're going to come into the financials where do you give him the buyout or and try to go through the hiring process, or do you let him finish out another season here and evaluate the performance after that? It's really going to come down to what the athletic director and that staff is going to want to do in terms of financials. Are they going to want to reinvest that capital into NIL, or are they going to want to spend it on a new coach? That's the question you're arguing now in college athletics is, do you take the money you could put on a roster, which is typically around $3 to $8 million, or do you take that money, pay a little extra to fire your coach and not have as good of a team, but you'd have a new culture, new face in the building? That's what a lot of teams are forced to choose in between now.
And with that, we begin to pump it up here one last time in Fifth Third Arena before the tip-off. It'll be Bangat Dak lining up with Mustafa Chiam. Surprisingly, Elijah Malone not the starting center, as it'll be Bangat Dak, the forward, who will take the tip-off. Elijah Malone will stand next to Jizzle James on the opposite side of the court. And the tip-off is underway, and that is tipped by Jizzle James, picked up by Sincere Harris, and we are underway as James crosses the halfway point. Goes to the left, drives middle again. Corner, Fifth Third logo, now top of the key. Baba Miller, now it's Chiam with the mid-range jumper. A 15-footer fills it up for Chiam.
Yeah, way to find space and knock down a big shot.
Sincere Harris applying a lot of pressure to Hargris on the full court side. Passes the time stripe now to Dak on the left wing. To Malone at the top of the key now. Dribbles by the Fifth Third logo, passes to number 15, Casares. Casares looking for space, nothing there. Right corner, number 7, Ron Sheik. Stolen by Baba Miller, fast break. Into the paint, steps, Euro step, layup is good. 4-0 Bearcats, 1 minute gone. Ron Sheik now. Passes the time stripe, guarded by Jizzle James. He drives, baseline, nothing there. Kicks it to Malone, left wing. Covered by Chiam, back to Ron Sheik. Pick and roll. Malone down to the paint. He's covered by Chiam. He can't get it over the 7-2 frame, but he gets his own rebound. Knocked away by Chiam again. It'll be out off of Malone. Good for a Bearcat turnover. Baba Miller set to inbound.
Yeah, good defensive. It's a good defensive possession for the Bearcats there. Able to force a miss and unfortunately not able to get the defensive rebound, but still contested and fought all the way through that. Now
Chiam, free throw line, jumper, it's good. 6-0 Bearcats. Now Hargris brings it up the floor. Dak at the Fifth Third logo on the right wing. Now to Ron Sheik, Casares. Back to Malone at the top of the key. Covered by Chiam, nothing there. Poked away by Jizzle James, and it will be out off of Sebastian Ron Sheik. Inbounded by Miller to Jizzle James as he just about crosses the C-paw. Covered by Hargris, Day-Day Thomas drives. Now Jizzle James. Left corner, Fifth Third logo. Baba Miller drives in the paint, nothing there. Kicks to Jizzle James at the top of the key. Now right wing, Sincere Harris, cross. A hard-fought layup as he drives inside the paint for 2. Now Bangat Dak drives baseline, covered by Miller. It'll be out off of Sincere Harris as he stops the offensive effort from Colorado.
Yeah, Sincere Harris on the other end of the floor. Such a determined scorer on that possession, was not letting the contact get in the way, fought around multiple Colorado defenders to get the bucket.
Hargris now looking inbound. Everyone's covered. Bangat Dak now at the top of the key. Left wing. Finds Hargress. Right around that Paul logo. Now left wing. Kicks it. Stolen by Day Thomas. He's across the halfway line. It's a fast break. He gives it to Sincere Harris. Through the contact and in. A 10-0 start for the Bearcats. They are playing with energy here in Fifth Third Arena. Hargress brings it across the Paul logo. Now to Malone. Now on the left wing to Ron Sheik. And it'll be a foul by Jizzle James, and Ron Sheik will go to the line. A fast start here for the Bearcats. 10-0 with 17 minutes remaining. Excuse me, he won't go to the free throw line. It'll be Ron Sheik to inbound.
Be interested to see how the Bearcats handle this possession on the defensive end of the floor. Stop here would be absolutely crucial for momentum.
Brings it to Dak, who almost commits a half-court violation. They're still stuck on the Paul. Now it's Bangot Dak on the right wing. Back to Hargress. He tries to find space. Pick-up jumper. It's good for their first point of the night. Right around the 20-footer mark as Jizzle James tries to get across the halfway line. He passes it to Sincere Harris to start the timer. Now to Day Thomas. Baba Miller inside, working in the free throw line. Sincere Harris, three! No good. Tipped by Day Thomas. He picks up the rebound. Baba Miller thinks about it. Does. No good. Rebound, Bangot Dak. He takes it up the floor, now on the right wing. He drives inside the paint, covered by Miller. Miller stuffs it! Jizzle James now brings it across the Paul logo. Cross to the left, free throw line jumper. He lost Ron Sheik. Excuse me, he lost Casares, but the shot will miss and Colorado retains possession. Now Chiam caught out of position. Great defensive effort. Day Thomas knocks it away at the baseline. Now fast break. Sincere Harris. Chum fouled on the shot.
And Colorado on that offensive end of the floor, they're really trying to work it inside to Malone, and the Bearcats have really taken that option away from them. Colorado visibly frustrated. Their assistant coach hitting one of the bench chairs and out of frustration, really wanting that to go. Again, Malone, a proven scorer. Colorado trying to find more than just one bucket 5 minutes into the game.
The Buffs seem to be playing on their heels so far. The Cincinnati Bearcats have been pressuring the ball, pressuring the paint, pressuring the shots, and they find themselves up 8 points just 5 minutes and 15 seconds into this first game.
And again, here's the
first
thing.
half.
And they've only taken 2 3-point shots, and the 3-point shots that they have taken have been provided by the off-ball movement, getting into the paint, getting those paint touches. Coaches talk a lot about how crucial paint touches are to open up other opportunities on the perimeter. A lot of teams don't do that. They really just want that three ball to fall. But the Bearcats have really, really used their playmakers down low through Sham, through Baba Miller, and Sincere Harris so far, and have scored right below the rim.
And with that, inside Fifth Third Arena, they take a media timeout. We will too. Coming to you from Bearcast Sports Radio, I'm Miles Essenpreis, joined by Matthew Lynn. We'll be right back. And we return to you live with the Bearcats against the Colorado Buffaloes as we resume play. Again, Bearcats off to a hot start, 10-2 with 15 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in this first half. Chiam now at the charity stripe for 3 free throws. Dribbles the ball twice, shoots. First one, fills it up. Free throws have been a sore spot for this Bearcat team so far, as they have all the time under this Wes Miller regime, shooting just 63.8% from the free throw line, as Chiam makes both. 24, Tyler McKinley will check in for Mustafa Chiam. Now the full court press being applied. Baba Miller covering, I believe, Alon McKaylee closely. No, that's Ron Sheik, excuse me. Johnson now, Isaiah Johnson, best rookie, or the third highest scoring rookie in the Big 12, kicks it to number 5, Josiah Sanders on the left wing. Now to number 3, 24, drives, baseline, Hargress, nothing there, but it'll be a foul on the Bearcats. It'll be 32. Jalen Celestine with the foul, and Hargress will go to the line for free throws.
At the line for Colorado, number 24, Barrington Hargress shooting 2.
Jalen Celestine had the last-second three-point shot to take the game against UCF. Couldn't get it to fall. The crowd noise does not distract Hargress as he makes his first one.
A pretty full Fifth Third arena here on this Wednesday night. Snowing outside against the Buffaloes, brought that back from Colorado.
12-3 the score, 15 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in the first half. The stadium gets loud once more. Hargress puts it up, and he makes both. Miller inbounds it to James. They struggle to get up the court. Both teams applying a full court press. Jizzle James brings it across the timeline. Now to Baba Miller at the top of the key. Right wing, Day Thomas. And Baba Miller with the slam in the paint. Excellent movement to McKinley, who finds Baba Miller cutting in the paint. Good for 2. Hargress brings it up the court, passes Seapaw. Now to Ron Sheik. Josiah Sanders back to Hargress, stuck by the Seapaw. Covered by McKinley. He drives, spin move, nothing there. Finds McKaylee. He looks to, he's banging on Tyler McKinley. He drops the ball, back to Ron Sheik outside. He drives, Euro step, and the foul from Tyler McKinley. Ron Sheik will go to the line for free throws.
Fouls on the Bearcats, number 24, Tyler McKinley. It's his first team third.
And you kind of already see out of that media timeout, the Bearcats already fouling a lot more than they did. They were lightning out of a bottle in those first 5 minutes, and now kind of struggling a little bit.
Never mind, no free throws. Hargress to inbound. Finds Ron Sheik by the Seapaw logo. Now to McKaylee. Now on the right wing by the Fifth Third logo, that's Josiah Sanders. He drives, looks for space, nothing there. Kicks outside to McKaylee, three-pointer. No good. Picked up by Day Thomas. Fast break to Baba Miller on the left wing. He drives. He's fouled. Day Thomas, 3 steals and 2 rebounds already on the game. It'll be Jizzle James to inbound. Celestine cuts to the top of the key. McKinley back to Celestine, left wing. Baba Miller, top of the key. Fifth Third logo on the right wing to Day Thomas. Back to Miller, free throw line. The lob, can't quite get it to McKinley. Now it'll be McKaylee on the fast break to Hargress, working on Jizzle James, covered by Miller now. It'll be Josiah Sanders on the right wing, now top of the key. Now to Ron Sheik on the left wing. Three-pointer won't fall for Ron Sheik. Baba Miller rebound. Now the fast break. Past the timeline. Baba Miller drives. Fills it up with the layup. Inside 3 feet. 16-4 now the score. Bearcat lead, 13 minutes, 50 seconds. McKaylee now on the right wing. Drives inside, nothing there. Wide open, corner 3. Josiah Sanders can't get it to fall. Rebound, Baba Miller. Finds Jizzle James, left wing. They slow the play down. Now Tyler McKinley to Celestine on the right wing. Fifth Third logo. Now to Baba Miller. He thinks about it. Won't shoot. Now to McKinley. He's working on Ron Sheik in the paint. He kicks it to to Celestine at the top of the key. He works it to the right wing. Now to Jizzle James. He tries to find space. Free throw line jumper. Step back, won't fall. Oh, Johnson trips. He playing with pace. Now on the elbow. Can't quite get it to fall. Rebound, McKinley. Jizzle James now to Day Thomas on the right wing. Lob! Baba Miller with the slam! Off the Day Thomas lob. Hargress now slowing down the pace of the game. He passes the timeline, covered by Jizzle James. Cross, finds space, nothing there. Sanders drives baseline. He'll step out of bounds. Excuse me, he was fouled by Jalen Celestine.
Bearcats on a 6-0 run the last 2 minutes. They're really holding Colorado in check. Again, a team that averages 77 points per game. They only have 4 points through the first 8 minutes of the first half.
Bearcats sub out all but Baba Miller as Sincere Harris, Keyshawn Tillery, Mustafa Chiam, and Sean Abayev come on. Sanders looks to inbound, finds Johnson in the left corner. Nothing there, he drives out. Left wing, now top of the key, covered by Tillery. Now they find McKaylee, he drives inside. Nothing there in the paint, gives it to Bangot Dak. He fills it up with the shot just outside the paint. 18-6 now the score, Bearcats lead, 12 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. Keyshawn Tillery on the right wing, passes it to Sincere Harris on the left wing. Finds Chiam in the paint. Sincere Harris drives, cuts, blocked by Bangot Dak. Now fast break, McKaylee to Sanders. He drives inside, covered by Abayev. 3 Bearcats jumped, and that's blocked by Harris. Now Keyshawn Tillery on the fast break. He kicks it out to Sincere Harris. Too much on the pass, poked away. Now Baba Miller, slam dunk, blocked by Bangot Dak, but it will be a foul on the shot, forcing Baba Miller to the line.
The Bearcats got really lucky there. That was a lot of sloppy basketball in like 30 seconds. Baba Miller tries to drive down to the lane and just kind of gets bailed out with a foul call, but the Bearcats will most certainly take it.
It was overthrown pass to blocked shot. It was a sloppy minute of basketball. But with that, we'll take a media timeout, and we'll be right back with Bearcats Media Sports Radio. I'm Miles Essenpreis, joined you by Matthew Lynn. We'll be right back. And we return to Fifth Third Arena. The Buffaloes, one of their last 7 from the field. A hot start for the Bearcats. The score 18-6 as t-shirts are thrown into the crowd. 11 minutes, 49 seconds remain. Is this a statement from Wes Miller? I mean, he's been so criticized lately, and the Bearcats are off to an incredibly hot start.
I think it's a statement from Wes Miller for sure. I also think the big thing is they've been starting Sincere Harris instead of Sean Abayev, letting Abayev work in off the bench. I think that is fitting his role as a player right now in his current form.
Baba Miller now at the line. He misses his first free throw. Again, free throws have been plaguing this Bearcat team the entire Wes Miller stint. Baba Miller, 58.5% from the free throw line as he makes his second one. Celestine will check in for Baba Miller as he gets some rest. He's been playing lights out today.
Yeah, Baba Miller's performed at an extremely high level, 9 points on the day so far.
Dak inbounds it to Johnson, covered by Tillery. Now passes the C-Paul logo. He drives to the left wing, nothing there. Kicks it to 15, Casares. He's at the top of the key. Now he kicks it to McKaylee, excuse me. Now back to Johnson. Tough basketball from Tillery. They can't get anything. 5 seconds remain on the shot clock. It is poked away by Tillery, but that is a foul on number 7.
It's the Bearcats' 5th foul already. Again, they've just been such a hard-nosed team on defense, just committing a lot of fouls.
Sanders looks to inbound it. Gets it to McKaylee on the left wing. Tries to find Dak in the paint, nothing there. Now to Johnson at the top of the key again, guarded toughly by Tillery, but that is a foul on Johnson.
Yeah, I was saying he pushed off, extended the arm when he went to create the jump shot, and just that's not going to fly anymore.
With that, Sean Abayev will inbound it to Tillery, who was fouled. Now Sincere Harris brings it across the timeline. Back to Keyshawn Tillery at the 5th-3rd logo on the right wing, now top of the key. Kicks it to Sean Abayev at the 5th-3rd logo. Back to Tillery, back to Abayev. Corner 3, Celestine. It's good. 6-20, 22-6. The score, Bearcat lead. 10 minutes, 50 seconds remain in the first half. Johnson now sizes up Tillery again. Bangot Dak, top of the key. Back to McKaylee. He drives, elbow, nothing there. Kept straight up by Celestine. He gets it over the 6'7", 220-pound forward as Tillery finds Sincere Harris in the left corner. Back to Tillery. Finds Abayev on the right wing. He's double teamed to Celestine. Back to Tillery. He thinks about driving, doesn't. Now back to the top of the key. Abayev, right wing jumper. He is fouled on the shot as that won't fall. Isaiah Johnson with the foul on Abayev.
Looks like the Bearcats got away with that one there. There is no contact on Abayev's hand in any way.
Little bit of a flop there, but we'll let it slide as he makes his first one. Abayev also struggles with free throws, shooting just 60.9% from the charity stripe. But he makes 2. The Buffaloes will sub on 3 as Inman comes in, Malone comes in, and I believe Hargris comes back on. Celestine comes off. And Baba Miller and Chiam come back on as Abayev makes his 3rd. Hargris behind the back dribble, guarded toughly beyond the halfway line by Sincere Harris. Baba Miller switches, Sincere Harris, wild jump, tries to block the pass, nothing there. Right wing Sanders now with the ball. Sanders finds the paint, nothing there, kicks it back out to Hargris. Less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. Finds Bangot Dak in the paint, nothing there. Malone back to Bangot Dak. He has to force up a bad shot, blocked by Baba Miller. Nothing there, and the shot clock will expire. An excellent stop by the Cincinnati Bearcat defense, forcing a shot clock violation.
not only forcing the shot clock violation, but also blocking the shot on top of that, adding insult to injury.
Baba Miller inbounds to Tillery. They still apply the full court press. Tillery almost finds Cham in the paint, but that will be out on Bangat Dak, who just sniffs the play out in time.
Yeah, that was a really nice play by Bangat Dak, but the Bearcats really, really looking to score from right below the rim tonight.
Sincere Harris now inbounds it to Abayev on the right wing. Kicks it to Cham. Now to Tillery at the top of the key. Finds Abayev on the 5th-3rd logo on the right wing. Top of the key. Tillery now left wing. Sincere Harris, top of the key. Finds Cham in the paint. Free throw line jumper. It's good. 27-8. Just under 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Hargress guarded by Harris. They cross the timeline. Bangat Dak now to Inman. Stolen by Cham, knocked away by Malone. Abayev picks it up, finds Cham in the paint. He goes up, can't find the dunk. Cham misses the dunk. He thinks he got fouled. Sanders crosses the C-paw. Now Hargress slows the pace of play down on the right wing. Inman now on the left wing. Hargress back at the C-paw. Crosses, Baba Miller looks to shake him, nothing there. He tries to draw the foul, nothing there. Inman, three, it's good. Their first successful three-point field goal of the night, 27-11. Now back to Baba Miller. Abayev in the left corner. It's good! 30-11, 19-point Bearcat lead. Sincere Harris guarding 24 Hargress on the C-paw. Now Malone outside the arc. Inman. He finds a shot. He takes it. It's no good. Baba Miller rebound. He was fouled off the rebound attempt by Malone. I always thought the mop guys were real glue, you know? Real glue guy there. Baba Miller looking to inbound to Jizzle James. Jizzle James picks it up. Wes Miller barking instructions just on the sideline, crosses the timeline. Jizzle James now keeps it on the right wing. Now to Baba Miller beyond the arc, finds Cham in the paint. He looks for a pass. He finds Sincere Harris on the left wing. Back to Cham inside. Cham working on Malone. He backs him down, and he is fouled. Excuse me, that's a travel.
We're going to call that a travel, and rightfully so. Picked up his pivot foot, trying to get the shot up. Unfortunately, not able to get a cleaner look. Good defensive stand by the Buffaloes there. Now going.
And welcome back to 5th-3rd Arena. The Bearcat lead stands at 19. The score 32-11. 7 minutes, 48 minutes remain in this first half, where they have looked excellent.
Yeah, they have really been firing on all cylinders. It's been a great team play as well. Mustafa Siam, 8 points. Baba Miller, 9 points. Shana Bayev with 6 points. So it's been a pretty balanced scoring evening for the Bearcats. The Buffaloes, a pretty high-scoring team, but only being held to 11 points now at the 7-minute TV timeout is definitely not the way they want their night to continue.
Bangot Dak just gets around Baba Miller with the inbound, now brought up by Hargress. He passes the timeline, covered by Day Thomas, who has sat out a lot of this night. Ron Sheik now on the right wing, covered by Abayev. He finds his way to the elbow. He takes a jumper. It's no good. Got by rebound, Sean Abayev. He brings it up the court, covered by Inman. Now to Jizzle James on the right wing. He drives, baseline, nothing there, and he dribbles it out of bounds. The hard coverage from Hargress forces Jizzle James to dribble out of bounds.
These next 7 minutes for the Bearcats are going to be the most crucial minutes of the game. You have a 19-point lead against a team that likes to score a lot. I feel like the Bearcats have had this theme all season where they get to the 7-minute TV timeout and everything good going in the game just crumbles in front of their eyes. This is going to be a big test here in this next 7 minutes.
Inman now works it to the top of the key, covered by Zella. Malone finds it in the paint. It's good. Layup good for Malone, good for his first points of the night. Now it'll be Day Thomas. Finds Jizzle James. Now Sean Abayev in the right corner. Back to the right wing. Now Baba Miller at the top of the key. He finds Jizzle James. He takes a shot. No good. An excellent play from Halvine Zella. Throws the ball as it's going out of bounds off of Ron Sheik, retaining possession for the Bearcats. Jizzle James now looks to inbound. He finds Day Thomas in the left corner. Now to Sean Abayev in the left wing. Back to Day Thomas, left wing. He drives, looks to the paint. It's all big men. Now it's Baba Miller. Off the glass and in. 32-13 off the Baba Miller layup. Hargress brings it up past the Seapaw. Day Thomas covering. He gets around him. Now he's on the right wing, covered by Baba Miller. Finds Malone at the top of the key. Now to Inman on the left wing. He doesn't find anything. Now it's Bangot Dak on the left elbow. He drives inside over Baba Miller. The huge frame of Miller can't quite reel that one in, as that is a layup for Bangot Dak. Jizzle James now on the right wing. Day Thomas now to Sean Abayev. Wide open three-pointer. No good.
That shot from Abayev looked like it was going to be off. That release at the top of his shot looked extremely awkward.
Huge spin move by Hargress. Gets inside. Nothing there. He gets his own rebound. Now to Malone at the top of the key. Ron Sheik poked away by Abayev. Blocked by Day Thomas. Unsure of what the call was there, but McKinley will check in for Miller, and Harris will come in for Abayev.
The evening started with Wes Miller receiving his boos, but now the Bearcat faithful singing his praises, enjoying this 17-point lead with 5:35 left to play in the first half.
Ron Sheik now to inbound. He finds Hargress, who passes the Seapaw, covered by Thomas. He tries to find space inside, finds McKaylee, now to Dak, back to the top of the key for Hargress. Bangot Dak now at the top of the key. McKaylee, left wing, jumper, three-pointer is good for the Buffaloes. 32-18 now. Jizzle James finds Day Thomas just before the time stripe. Finds McKinley, now to Sincere Harris. He drives baseline, off the glass and in for the layup. 34-18 now the Bearcats score. Hargress now covered by Thomas again at the Seapaw logo. Thomas has stuck to Hargress like glue. Hargress finds Ron Sheik in the corner, has Sincere Harris jumping for joy, but it will be a foul on Sincere Harris. Ron Sheik will go to the line for 3 free throws. 4 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in this first half. 34-18 the score. Bearcats lead by 16. Ron Sheik, his first free throw rattles around the rim and in.
I thought it was going to sit up there on that back iron and just barely got a touch of the wind to roll it in.
Dak and Inman check out in place will go Johnson and Sanders. Ron Sheik now, as Fifth Third Arena gets loud, trying to distract Ron Sheik. He makes both, and both rattle in and out of the rim. Jizzle James now just gets across the timeline. Day Thomas back to James. Now Sincere Harris back to James. Now McKinley, free throw line. He drives inside, spin move. Nothing there, locked out of heaven. He throws up an ugly shot off the glass, it won't go. Rebound, McHaley. Now to Johnson. McHaley again, top of the key, back to Hargress. And he is fouled by Sincere Harris beyond the arc.
It's the Bearcats' 7th foul of the night compared to Colorado. Now both even at 7.
Bonus now in effect, 34-20. Bearcats lead by 14. Day Thomas inbounds to James. James finds Sincere Harris on the right wing. Back to the top of the key to James. Jizzle finds Miller in the paint for the lob. Slam dunk. Tad Boyle is upset on the sideline as Johnson brings it up the court, covered by Day Thomas. He drives to the left wing, nothing there. McHaley now on the right wing, covered by Chum. Hargress now on the right wing by the Fifth Third logo. He drives inside, nothing there. Johnson now back to McHaley on the right wing. He drives inside, spin move, spin cycle on Chum, won't work. Sincere Harris now leads the fast break. He drives inside, crossover. He finds Chum, and Chum is fouled in the paint by Sebastian Ron Sheik. 36-20, the Bearcats lead by 16. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remain in this first half. Timeout called. We'll take a timeout as well. Coming to you from Fifth Third Arena, we're Bearcat Sports Radio. We'll be right back. And we return. I'm Miles Essenpreis, joined to you by Matthew Lynn as we come back to an excellent Bearcat lead, 36-20, 16 points the lead for the Bearcats. They have stayed steady beyond the 7-minute media timeout portion. Chum now at the line for free throws. Chum shooting 58.7 from the free throw line so far this season. His first shot bounces off the back of the rim, no good. Ron Sheik now looks to inbound. Full court press being applied by the Bearcats. Hargress now covered by Harris. He shows a lot of resistance. Now crosses the timeline. Hargress now to McKaylee at the top of the key. Hargress cuts, nothing there. Johnson now back at the top of the key. Right wing, 5th-3rd logo, Ron Sheik looks to work on Miller. He drives inside, nothing there. Goes up for the foul, can't quite draw it. Baba Miller now leads the fast break past the CPaul logo. Day Thomas, left corner, three-pointer, rattles in and out. Ron Sheik picks up the board. Gets it to Hargress now on the right wing, covered by Chom. He drives inside, loses him, finds space, bounces off the front of the rim. Sincere Harris grabs the rebound, pushes the pace. Baba Miller now beyond the arc, finds Chom in the paint. It's knocked away. Chom falls on top of it. The referees rule it.
It's going to be Colorado ball.
Colorado ball. It'll be McKaylee to inbound. Again, full court press being applied. Miller, Thomas, Harris. Hargress now brings the ball up the court, covered closely by Harris. This is the defensive, aggressive style that the Bearcats are known for. McKaylee brings it to the left wing. Finds Ron Sheik, he drives inside, Euro step, draws the foul. It'll be an and one potential for Sebastian Ron Sheik as Bangot Dak will check in for Alone McKaylee. Sebastian Ron Sheik, potential three-point play. Makes it true. 37-23. Bearcats lead by 14. Day Thomas gets it back to Jizzle James as they pass the halfway line. Find Miller, free throw line. He kicks it out to Sincere Harris. Back to Jizzle James on the right wing. Pick and roll by Baba Miller. Day Thomas drives baseline, finds Miller in the paint. Shot off the glass and in. Baba Miller with another layup. 39-23, Bearcat lead. Hargress brings it across the timeline. Ron Sheik, halfway line. Now guarded by Thomas, is Sanders. Kicks it to Hargress. Now the right wing, back to Sanders at the top of the key. Gives it to Johnson, guarded closely by James. He drives inside, puts up a shot, nothing there. Bangot Dak rebound, he puts up a shot, it also won't go. There is a lid on the rim for Colorado. Jizzle James brings it up across the timeline. Day Thomas now with the ball on the left wing. Back to James. Gets it to Day Thomas. He drives baseline. Nothing there. Chom now from the right wing. Chom gives it to Harris. He works by the 5th-3rd logo. Three ball from Harris. Won't go off the back of the rim. Rebound. Miller. Jizzle James. Three. Won't go off the front of the rim. Ron Sheik picks up the board. He drives. Right wing. He drives inside. Kicks it back out, stolen by Sincere Harris. Sloppy pass, Jizzle James. Layup off the glass and in. 41-23, the Bearcat lead. Just 45 seconds remaining in the first half. Johnson brings it up the court to Hargress now on the left wing. Right by the CPaul logo. Guarded closely, now to Johnson. Back out to Sanders. Now to Dak, working on the paint. Won't try it against Chom. Gets it to Johnson. Nifty pass from Bangot Dak. Bangot Dak has 30 assists on the year going into this game. Jizzle James kicks it to Sincere Harris. Gets across the timeline as the Buffaloes will foul. And the Bearcats will take a timeout, up 41-25 with just under 10 seconds remaining in this first half. We'll be right back. As we return from the timeouts, I noticed the head coach for the Colorado side, Tad Boyle, was looking stressed. He had his hand on his head, unhappy with how his team has been playing in this first half.
Again, if you go into half and you only have 25 points, I don't care what the score of the game is. If you're a head coach, you are not feeling positive about that result in that half. If you're Coach Boyle right now, what you have to do is just say, look, we know what we can do better in the second half. Let's forget what we struggled with and move on.
Abayev inbounds to Jizzle James. He drives, nothing there, locked out of heaven. He drives again. He gets a second chance, and he is fouled. 3 seconds remain in the first half. And the bonus being in effect, Jizzle James will go to the free throw line. In just 6 games, he is shooting 75% from the free throw line. He fills it up on the first one. He'll get a chance at a second. Score now 42-25. It's good. 43-25 now the score. Ron Sheik to inbound. He finds a long and a half. Bearcats up with a hefty lead, 43-25. The star player of the half, Baba Miller. Who else? 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. It's been an extraordinary half of basketball for the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Yeah, it really has been, and it's the half I've dreamed of all season as a fan of the Bearcats is to be actually leading at half by a favorable amount, and that is exactly what's going on here in Fifth Third Arena.
Looking at the stat lines, Bearcats leading the assist margin by 7. 13 assists compared to the Colorado 6.
Yeah, Colorado's assist to turnover ratio 6-10, so a -4 assist to turnover ratio. That's the problem right there. If you're Coach Boyle in the locker room right now, is you got to look at that stat. I don't really care about the percentages. It's that assist to turnover ratio is one of the biggest things that coaches care about in college basketball and professional basketball now, is that assist to turnover ratio, but being at a negative margin is absolutely terrible.
And so far the rebound margin is pretty similar. Bearcats with 15 rebounds compared to the Colorado 13. The difference coming, the Colorado actually leads the offensive rebounds, 4 compared to the Cincinnati 3. So the rebound margin hasn't been the problem. It's been that assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah, it really has been. The assist to turnover ratio determines everything through the course of a game.
With that, halftime will take away. 14 minutes left on that, but we'll also take a timeout. Bearcats lead 43-25 as we'll return to Fifth Third Arena soon. I'm Miles Essenpreis, joined to you by Matthew Lynn. He'll take you the rest of the way on play-by-play. We'll be right back.
Well, welcome back to Fifth Third Arena here tonight as the Bearcats and the Buffaloes get ready to do battle here in the second half. The Bearcats leading 43-25. Baba Miller paved the way with 15 points and 5 rebounds, being very efficient.
Yeah, Baba Miller tonight has been 7 and 8 from the field. Normally, from the field, he shoots just 57%. So tonight, he has been absolutely on fire. Another name to point out, Mustafa Chiam. He has 9 on the night. Normally, Chiam averages 11.4. He's eclipsed that almost in the first half.
Harris inbounds to James to start the second half, now with Thomas on the left wing. Thomas gets a screen from Chiam. Thomas kicked back out to the three-point line. Harris in the corner, thought about it, now sizing up. Now back out to James at the top of the arc. James moving to his left, pass out to the right, now Harris. Playing it one more back with Miller. Miller now driving inside, working on Malone. Malone rejects Baba Miller as he goes to the rim. Now the Buffaloes trying to kickstart their offense here in the second half. Hargress. Now on Thomas. Now back with Ranchik.
Something to note, the Buffaloes scored 0 points off of fast breaks in the first half. Really struggling to get that fast break offense going.
Malone tried to go up, grabbed his own miss, tipped out. Thiam fighting for it, and Malone just plays it off of Thiam. Both going for it, a heads-up play there from the center, Malone.
Yeah, the Colorado offense was struggling in the first half, points in the paint, compared to the Cincinnati 20 in the paint.
Johnson a three, that one won't go. Thiam with the rebound. Now with James as he takes it up the court on a fast. Thomas working inside, trying to find Thiam, just a wild pass, threw a fastball down there, not able to catch it. Now the Buffaloes try to work. Ranchik coming inside, pass down to Malone. Malone facing a double team. Malone trying to get a gather. Now kick back out to Johnson. Johnson driving inside. Johnson's layup is good. 43-27, 18-35 at the start here of the second half in Cincinnati. Harris now retreating, now slowing it down, now back up to the top of the key with Jean. Now with James. James working on Hargress. James now to Harris. Harris stepping inside the paint. Ranchik there defending. Now back with Jean. That's going to be a 2, and that one is off the mark. Ranchik able to grab the rebound. Now to Malone. Malone down low, and he's just a brutal miss from the center, Elijah Malone there. Ranchik, foul called on him. James tried to go down low, but will go to the line to shoot 2.
And the Buffaloes could have had their first fast break points of the game, but just an ugly miss from Elijah Malone. Such an efficient scorer, missing such an easy layup.
Yeah, just was trying to move too fast there, really trying to play it off the glass and just overcompensated for the easy miss there. It was a great play in transition by the Buffaloes to set up that chance, though. Again, 0 fast break points in the game so far for the Buffs. Harris's first free throw is off the mark. 43-27, 18 minutes and 2 seconds left to play here in this second half in Cincinnati. Harris, his second free throw is good. Gets 1 of 2. Again, free throws have been a struggle for the Cincinnati team all year.
How many times have we said it?
Now Dak trying to inbound, the panic inbound to Johnson right at the timeline, now retreating to Hargress. Hargress has got to get it over and does. He's picked up by Harris. Now Ranchik, James working on him. Johnson trying to find space, lays it off to Hargress. Hargress now evaluating 14 seconds on the shot clock. Still with it is Hargress, screen from Dak. Hargress to Dak. Dak puts up the floater, and that one is good. 44-29 with 17 minutes left. James now inside to Sham. Malone picking him up. Sham trying to find an outlet pass to Harris. Harris in the corner, thought about the 3. Dak not able to get there. Baba Miller with the easy 2. Now
Baba Miller glides along the baseline. Good reverse layup.
Illegal screen on the Buffaloes. It will be Cincinnati ball, 46-29, 17-12 left to play in the second half.
Tad Boyle voicing his displeasure to the official.
Baba Miller still leads the team in scoring with 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists as he continues to build on his productive first half. Celestine and McKinley check in for the Bearcats. Sincere Harris and Mustafa Sham exit.
Colorado 2 and 8 from beyond the arc.
Now James, Hargreaves picking him up. Screen from Miller, James back out to Baba Miller. Miller thought about the three, now finds Day Thomas, who knocks down the mid-range jump shot. Great ball movement by the Bearcats.
Day Thomas loves that elbow jumper.
Now with Ranchik. Trying to get it to Dak, but taken away by Jalen Celestine. James now to Miller, who gets fouled. And now the chance for the and one.
Celestine snatches the steal off the shot attempt and the lob attempt to Baba Miller. He can't quite reach the rim. He goes in, slices for the layup, and finds the hoop for the and one.
The Bearcats shooting 77% from the line as a team here tonight against the Buffaloes. A 6-0 run in the last 30 seconds for the Bearcats.
Bearcats 3 for 3 from the field in the last 3 shots.
Miller now lining up the free throw attempt. 16:42 left to play in the second half, and it rims out. I believe they're going to call a lane violation. Jalen Celestine picks up his third personal foul on the lane violation there.
Would have been Miller's 20th point had it fallen.
Now Dak to Hargreaves. Barrington Hargreaves. He has 4 points here tonight. Now working on James Hargreaves, pivoting out, now back with Dak. Dak trying to find Johnson, gets it to him. Johnson working on the left wing. He's guarded by Thomas. Johnson now back with Hargreaves. Hargreaves to Johnson. Johnson, a wide open three. Rims in and out, rebounded by Johnson, and he will have stepped out there trying to grab the rebound.
Tad Boyle on the sideline applauds the effort. Won't go the Buffs' way. Something to note, Cincinnati's largest lead of the night. 21-point lead.
Now off the inbound, Thomas picks it up, now crosses the C-paw. 16:08 left to play in the second half. Trying to get it away, but tipped away by the Buffaloes. Now Johnson moving down low. Johnson out to Hargreaves. A three for him, and it's good from the top of the key.
You leave Hargreaves that open, he's going to make him 100% of the time.
The Buffaloes love to shoot the three ball. It has not been falling for them tonight, only 30% from the field.
Hargreaves shoots 53 from beyond the arc normally, though.
James now working on Hargreaves. James tries to find the space. That one is in and out, and it tipped away.
Tyler McKinley thought about diving into the floor seats, didn't quite go for it.
So it's going to be Colorado Buffalo ball. After the media timeout, you're listening to Bearcast Radio. I'm Matthew Lynn. Joined alongside me is Miles Essenpreis. Well, welcome back to Fifth Third Arena. Matthew Lynn, Miles Essenpreis with us here tonight. Packed out Fifth Third Arena. The Bearcats up by a sizable amount and trying to get that first win in Big 12 play. And the Buffaloes do have the ball, trying to get it out of their own half of the floor. Is Sanders with it now? He's picked up by Celestine. Sanders evaluating, 18 seconds on the shot clock. Sanders now with Hargress. Hargress guarded tightly by James. Hargress trying to find space, now crosses the three-point line. Elijah Malone, the center, with the ball, who plays it back out to Hargress. Hargress finds space, takes the jump shot. It's short, rebounded by Jalen Celestine in the Bearcats. Celestine now to Thomas. Day Thomas now inside to Baba Miller. Miller now penetrating. Miller, the floater, hit off the front side of the rim, rebounded by Dak. Baba Miller picks up his first foul. Dak to inbound for the Buffaloes. Now Johnson. Johnson penetrating. Back out to McCauley. Now Dak gets it off the glass to go 50-34. 14 minutes left in the second half.
Climbs the 7-2 ladder. That is Mustafa Chiam.
James now with it. He's picked up by Hargress. Now James back out to Miller. Miller now inside to Chiam. Dak guarding him. Chiam puts it up and in. Now Hargress with it for the Buffaloes as he crosses the timeline.
Good for Chiam's 11th point of the night.
Hargress now out to Dak. Dak moving in. Dak gets fouled on the way up. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
Day Thomas contesting the 7-footer's layup. Day Thomas stands at just 6'1". He got up there. I mean, that was a good contest on the Giant.
Dak at the line to shoot two. The Buffaloes trail 52-34. His first one is good.
Free throw shooting has been a light point of the Buffaloes this season. They shoot 78.1% from the charity stripe.
Shooting 100% right now in the game, 6 for 6 on the evening. Missed that one there. Rebounded by Sanders. Dak now back to Sanders. Now with Johnson on the wing. Johnson moving around Chiam. Sanders thought about pulling it up, decides to drive in, and that one falls.
Ridiculous jelly layup from Sanders. Gets it around Chiam and in.
Celestine now working on Sanders. Celestine pivots. Stolen away by the Buffaloes. Now Sanders to Johnson. Johnson lines up a three. It's good. 52-40. And timeout for the Bearcats. A 5-point swing there. A 6-0 run in the last 27 seconds.
Good for the Buffaloes' first fast break points of the night. The lead is crumbling for the Bearcats.
And this has been the story of the season for the Bearcats. They enjoy a large amount of lead going into that wasn't going to happen right away, because that first 6 minutes they were really dominating, and now a 21-point game now turned into a 12-point game, and this is a game for the Buffaloes to try to steal a road win.
I mean, the Buffaloes, they've been doing everything correctly. They've sewn up the problems they've had on the fast break. They've sewn up their turnover problems. They're getting better with their assisting, and they're taking better shots that are falling this half that they just weren't working in the first half. So it's been better basketball from the Buffaloes and sloppier basketball from the Bearcats.
Yeah, it's been great productive basketball for the Bearcats so far, but you're just kind of not seeing it, and you're kind of seeing them waste some offensive possessions, getting sloppy with the ball, kind of being a little more relaxed when you have a large lead. And again, the Bearcats have done this throughout the course of the season.
It's their Achilles heel. They get a little bit lazy when they enjoy a big second half lead, and especially going into the second half, up 19, taking, I think, the biggest lead was a 21-point lead. They've let it fall to 12, and it's frustrating. I'm assuming for the Bearcats fans, it's frustrating to see domination going into the half break, and then they just lose it.
Especially playing in a very competitive conference in the Big 12. You have extremely good teams like Houston, Iowa State, BYU, Baylor, Arizona, Texas Tech, a lot of top teams in this conference. That is just not going to get by. The Big 12 is a gauntlet, one of the most underrated conferences in college basketball from top to bottom. It is very competitive, and playing like this is just not going to work at any level.
Especially, they go to number 2 nationally ranked Iowa State. They host number 2 nationally ranked Iowa State. Then they go to Tucson, Arizona to face the Wildcats. With this brand of basketball, throwing away these first half leads, it's just not advantageous to winning ball games.
No, it is not. And I think this is kind of why you see the frustrations with the head coach in Wes Miller. Is this is everything they have done. Again, they have not made the tournament since 2019. And while there has been a big jump from leaving the American Conference to joining, like I said, the highly competitive Big 12, it's just not going to cut it here. Cincinnati is one of the most story tradition-rich programs in all of college basketball. And to kind of see this brand of Cincinnati be kind of put under the rug a little bit, it has been very hard for them.
Still searching for their first win in this competitive conference. They have their best opportunity tonight, but they're letting it slip.
Keyshawn Tillery checks into the game, and he's got the rock right now. He's picked up by Johnson.
Tillery's still looking for his first point of the night.
A Celestine three, that one won't fall. Sham battling for it under the rim, and the Buffaloes come away with it. Now Johnson with McCauley. Now back in the corner, a three for the Buffaloes. It won't fall. Tipped away into the hands of Keyshawn Tillery. Tillery able to recover. Now driving inside, working on Sanders. Tillery tries to go up. I mentioned it in the pregame. I'm a huge Keyshawn Tillery fan. I just really believe that he's just got that quick first step that a lot of this roster doesn't have. He's got the size and the speed to just be really shifty down low and cause a lot of problems.
He showed it on that play. He sliced inside, went for the layup, got fouled, hitting the side of the backboard, but he did draw the foul, and he will go to the charity stripe. Keyshawn Tillery, only 2 for 6 from the free throw line so far this season. And he continues his cold stretch, missing the first one, now 2 for 7 on the year.
2 for 7 for Tillery. See if he can bounce back. Still a 52-40 ball game here in Cincinnati, where the fans thought that this might be the turning point in this season. Now feeling like it's going to slip away. Tillery bounces back and makes the second one, now making the lead 13. Now Johnson. Johnson taking his time, waiting for the screen. Johnson now to McCauley. That 1-3 is too short and rebounded by Harris.
Almost misses the rim.
Harris, Euro stepping inside, puts up the floater, not good, and will be tipped out of bounds. It will be Colorado basketball. Fans here not liking that call.
Weird shot selection, as he didn't really have a lot of space there. Went for the floater, just missed left.
Well, the way he's been scoring tonight, I thought he was going to go up and under, but decided to take that Euro step and try not to get that continuous motion there, and just opted for the floater. It didn't fall. Now the Buffaloes. Now with Hargress. Hargress moving inside, facing 2 Bearcats down low. Now Sanders. Now back inside to Sanders again. Sanders gets free, and that bucket is good. Sanders with the great off-ball movement to be able to provide that bucket for the Buffaloes. 53-42, the Bearcats lead.
Excellent passing from the Buffaloes leads to a nice bucket under the rim.
Keyshawn Tillery lays it off to Day Thomas. Thomas dribbling with the left hand, throws it inside to Harris. Harris trying to find space now to Sham. Sham battles to the bucket and gets that one to go. 55-42, 11:45 left to play in the second half.
Sham is really good at getting those big boy paint points.
Hargress now inside. Mikolai bricked a layup and then got fouled, so he will go to the line to shoot 2.
Bearcats do struggle with fouls. committing their 4th of the half. It's the price of playing tough basketball on the defensive side, but again, in such a competitive conference, in order to win basketball games, you've got to clean that up a little bit.
Not only that, but you still have to remain the physicality and the tenacity that this team brings on the defensive end of the floor. So it's really trying to find that fine line of where you're applying a lot of pressure, taking away passing lanes, but you're not committing fouls.
Their job is to bounce the pizza box on their hand. Their opponent's job is to knock that pizza box off.
Just while we're at the media timeout, we can talk about, one of the bigger stories out of Cincinnati, that being Brendan Sorsby entering the transfer portal and committing to Texas Tech.
Yeah, $4 million deal there. The NIL certainly proving its worth to Brendan Sorsby, at least, not so much to Bearcat fans. But a second story that was affected by the Brendan Sorsby transfer was the bowl game, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee, which I attended. Left at halftime. The rain was just too persistent as the Bearcats didn't put up the best showing as they were missing their starting quarterback.
Yeah, and Brendan Sorsby, one of the better quarterbacks in all of college football this season. Definitely made lots of memories for Bearcats fans over his 2-year career here as a starter. Transferred from Indiana, but now off to Lubbock and Texas Tech to play for the Red Raiders, and a team that looked like they needed a quarterback in the quarterfinals against Oregon.
Texas Tech had a good run, and so did Cincinnati for the first 8 games of the year.
Yeah, it was an interesting season again, and now you're kind of getting into, now you have 2 coaches where the seat is definitely warming up in Scott Satterfield. Satterfield, notoriously known as an 8-4 head coach. He's never really had a major accomplishment on his resume as a head coach. His previous stop included Louisville before that, and never really brought anything to the Cardinals in Louisville. And now you're struggling to have Cincinnati find any success. So now if you're the AD and John Cunningham, what do you do with both these coaches?
You look for wins where you can find them. They signed 2 quarterbacks in the transfer portal, hopefully to replace Brendan Sorsby. But I don't know.
Yeah, J.C. Finch committed from Georgia Southern. So interesting to see what he can do here for the Bearcats.
As you were saying earlier, do you take the head coach buyout and suffer a worse team but a new culture, both in the basketball program and now the football program?
Well, we'll have to wait and see with what happens with the futures between Wes Miller and Scott Satterfield. Gly's first free throw is off the mark, 0 for 1. From the stripe, he gets 2 shots.
The second missed free throw of the game for the Colorado Buffaloes.
Now eyeing up his second. That one is good, 55-43. The Bearcats lead over the Buffaloes. Keyshawn Tillery handling the ball, puts the brakes on, trying to get Hargress to fly by, but he stays committed on defense. Abayev now working on the wing, now inside to Baba Miller. Baba Miller, a hard pass to Jalen Celestine. That 3 off the mark. Ranchik trying to fight for it, and it will be Bearcat basketball.
Baba Miller looks like Brendan Sorsby there. Hard cross-court pass finds Celestine, who can't quite fill the rim up with his 3-pointer.
Now Abayev to inbound on the baseline. Sean Abayev to Celestine. Celestine to Sham. Now to Tillery. Keyshawn Tillery. Waiting now inside Tillery. Steps back. Still evaluating. Plays it off to Celestine. Celestine now waiting. Good defense here by the Buffaloes. Abayev has to hook up a shot.
Hits the bottom right corner of the backboard. Ugly shot forced for Abayev. Doesn't help his stats at all, which already this year have been plummeting as he's been benched the last 5 games.
So they actually did call a shooting foul on that. Didn't hear the whistle, but definitely a gracious call towards the Bearcats.
Sean Abayev going to the line for his second 3-point play, or 3 free throw attempt of the night.
The first one falls, 56-43, 10:59 left here in Cincinnati. Abayev Misses the second one. He's got 7 points on the night so far.
Abayev shooting just about 61% from the line this season so far. Has made 4 of 5 tonight.
Abayev. And misses his third free throw attempt, so just 1 point on the free throw opportunity. Now Hargress. Hargress now splitting inside, back out to Sanders. Now Ranchik. Now to Nikolai. Now with Hargress. He gets the screen. Hargress, the three won't go, and loose ball foul on the Buffaloes. It will be Bearcat basketball.
4 fouls committed by the Buffs compared to the Cincinnati 6.
It is definitely been a physical game throughout the course of both halves.
A lot of games that you don't really see in modern basketball anymore. I mean,
especially not at the NBA level. Definitely in the college level, I'd still see these very physical games, but it's very rare you see a NBA game with this much physicality. Tillery knocks down his first free throw. And the second one is good. So 58-43, the Buffaloes trail the Bearcats still. Ranchik to inbound on the baseline. Heavy press here from the Bearcats, but Hargress is able to get free and now taking it up the floor.
They've been running that full court press almost all night.
Hargress now with Ranchik. Ranchik splitting inside, now to Nikolai. Nikolai trying to get free, plays it back out to Hargress. Hargress to Johnson. He'll let the three go, and that's good.
Wes Miller spent that entire Colorado possession on one knee on the sideline.
Baba Miller lays it off to Thomas. Thomas back to Miller. Miller lines up a three. That one just off the left side of the rim. Now the Buffaloes. Now with Sanders. Now to Johnson. Johnson thought about it. Now working inside. Lost it. Johnson down on the floor.
Poor shot selection, I think, from Baba Miller. Maybe a heat check, but he has shot 2, including that last shot, 2 for 22 from beyond the arc. Shooting just above, or just under 10% from the three-point line.
One thing I will give Baba Miller on that miss is that's a high percentage place for him. Watching him out here during shoot-around, was letting it fly from out there, made a continuous 4-5 threes in a row. So I don't really mind the shot selection out of Baba Miller there. It's not as atrocious as it seems. It wasn't a bad miss either. Now Hargress trying to get Johnson free. Johnson thought about letting an 0-3 fly, decides to go in and do the reverse layup to fall for the Buffaloes. A 10-point game here in Cincinnati. Keyshawn Tillery now with it for the Bearcats. Gets the screen. Tillery now splitting inside. Pressure from Johnson. Tillery, that one off the mark. A foul on, I believe, Ranchik. Definitely an interesting call.
The entire Colorado bench upset with that call.
I'm not really too sure. I think they both just got tied up going up for the rebound, and they both interlocked arms and not able to get free. So Baba Miller at the line, the Bearcats shooting 67% from the free throw line tonight. Miller's first free throw is good.
Cincinnati added some size back to the lineup. Abayev now checks in for Thomas.
Miller's second free throw is off the mark and rebounded by the Bearcats. Great offensive rebound. Abayev thought about the three, now splitting inside. Abayev still working pressure from Johnson. Now back out to James. James to Miller. Miller now inside. Miller, it's not going to fall. Baba Miller hits the deck in transition. Hargress now to Dak. Dak kicking back out to Johnson. Johnson in the corner. Johnson now back out to the middle of the floor. Hargress trying to penetrate on James. Hargress trying to find an angle. Hargreaves back out to Johnson. Johnson thought about the three, now moving inside. Johnson, the mid-range jump shot is good. What a tough shot there from Johnson.
Airtight contest from Sincere Harris, and airtight Cincinnati defense in general.
Abayev splitting in, and they will, I believe they're going to call a charge on Sean Abayev. Yeah, so Colorado Buffalo basketball here with 8 minutes and 57 seconds, now down by 9 points.
Colorado has clawed their way back into this game, cutting a 21-point lead to a 9-point lead.
They've kind of been lingering this entire second half, but now this possession being one of the most pivotal of the afternoon so far. James picks up Hargreaves. Hargreaves now with Johnson. Johnson now inside to Malone. Elijah Malone to Sanders. Sanders goes up, gets the easy two. 59-52 here in Cincinnati as we come down to the final 8 minutes.
I mean, just before the half, we were writing Colorado's obituary. Now they've cut the lead to 7.
James working on Malone. Baba Miller now driving inside. Malone! And that is a charge against Baba Miller. Wait for what a play by Elijah Malone to notice Baba Miller taking that step, getting his feet set and taking the charge.
Malone's big frame hitting the deck after Baba Miller runs into the middle of his chest. Both teams now with the bonus.
That's a glue guy right there if you're a Colorado fan. Elijah Malone not afraid to take the charge. The home fans not liking it. 59-52, a 7-point game here with plenty of time left to go. Hargreaves trying to put on the afterburners, will lay it off to Johnson, and you knew that one was going to get called. Malone through the shoulder into Sincere Harris.
Malone blows up Sincere Harris on the screen. He hit the deck hard.
Very, very physical Big 12 contest you're seeing here. I'm not really sure how much of that was an illegal screen. I really do think Malone was set. I just think Harris did an even better job selling it. I mean, Sincere Harris running into a giant center like Malone is definitely going to have a huge collision. James now with it for the Bearcats. Now with Thomas. Thomas driving inside. Thomas lost it. Thiam trying to put it up and in. The Bearcat fans wanting a foul, not going to get it. And now Johnson having to move it quickly.
Breaks the Bearcats scoring drought of the last 4 minutes. John getting needed paint points.
A 9-point game here in Cincinnati. Hargreaves now back with Dak. Now with Sanders. Sanders trying to get open. Sanders now inside to Malone. Malone losing it. And Thiam will steal it away for the Bearcats. 61-52, 7:30 left in the second half. That won't fall. Rebounded away and tipped into the hands of Hargreaves. Hargreaves now inside. Hargreaves got the layup to go, cutting it back to 7. 61-54 here in Cincinnati.
Colorado has really cleaned up these fast breaks, improved their fast break offense tremendously just in halftime.
James lost the dribble, and they're going to say it stays with Colorado. Colorado's bench losing it, and a timeout. Colorado bench, Inman and Rancic all doing the motion to check disbelief.
Make one thing certain, this game is not over. The Buffaloes have once more clawed their way back into it, cutting the lead to 7.
Yeah, a 7-point lead for the Bearcats as this one is going to come down to the wire here in Cincinnati. Again, the Bearcats had a 21-point lead. That has now been dwindled down to 7. And give the Buffaloes credit where credit is due. They have not let that scoreboard really reflect their play out on the floor. They have busted it at both ends of the floor trying to claw their way back into the game, and they have.
Tad Boyle did an excellent job inside that locker room during halftime, rallying these troops to cut this deficit more than halfway.
61-54, like we said, 7 minutes left here at the media timeout. Fifth Third Arena, this is the most full we have seen it this season so far. I mean, I can't imagine how big this place is going to be on Saturday for a potential huge win if they are able to knock off Iowa State. And You know, number 2 in the country right now, Iowa State, unfortunately, in terms of the Big 12, did get destroyed the other night by Kansas. Darian Peterson, one of the other star players. You know, you look at the Big 12, there are stars all over this conference. Coy Pete at Arizona, A.J. DeBanza at BYU, Darian Peterson at Kansas. Just some of the names to mention where there is a ton of talent in this conference.
And looking at the Bearcats' role in this conference, they sit at 0-3. A win tonight against Colorado is huge for their chances hosting Iowa State on Saturday.
Yeah, that momentum would for sure come over into that game on Saturday. Again, you take the tough loss to UCF on the road, a ranked team now, UCF. Again, one of the Big 12 additions with Cincinnati when they joined the conference. A tough loss, and you have the ones in Atlanta versus Clemson and Georgia. Those ones really haunt you a little bit. They got away from the Bearcats. I feel like that's really when the Wes Miller topic of conversation really started to pick up. Now you're here, back at home, 0-3 in conference. However, leading by 7 with 7 minutes left to go.
The Buffs have been 5 of their last 5. They have been absolutely clinical on the floor trying to cut this lead. Buffalo's looking for their first lead of the game. They have been trailing pretty much the entire game.
Well, this possession for Cincinnati is going to be absolutely crucial. A bucket here, you're looking between a 9-point game or a 10-point game with 7 minutes left, but a stop here for Colorado would be as equally as important. James now with it. Baba Miller. Miller on the left wing. Miller now inside in the paint. Miller posting up Dak. Miller trying to get free. That one won't fall. Sham trying to rebound, and it looks like the Buffaloes will get it, but will stay with the Bearcats off the tip. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 6:40 left to play in this second half. The Buffaloes trail the Bearcats by 7. Day Thomas laying it off to James. James, mid-range jumper off the left side of the rim. Miller batting it around. Thomas laying it off to Celestine. His 3 off the mark. And it's going to stay with the Bearcats. Again, some terrific offensive rebounding going on by the Bearcats.
Excellent hustle basketball from Day Thomas. Dishes it to Celestine, who takes the corner 3.
Celestine now to Thomas. Thomas working inside. Thomas going up, and it's going to rim out. And it's going to stay, I was going to say stay with the Bearcats, but it's going to be Buffalo basketball.
Tip doesn't quite go the Bearcats' way as it did with the last 3. Timeout called.
They're going to review it. Wes Miller wants them to take a look at this. We'll see what happens. 6:17 left. The Buffaloes trail by 7. In terms of the Buffaloes' perspective, you can't allow 5 offensive rebounds in a row. You've really got to not only grab a rebound and get back, but you've got to score. I mean, 6 minutes down by 7. You've really got to put your foot on the metal here.
But the Bearcats haven't been able to do anything with the offensive rebounds. They're 1 for their last 10.
Yeah, and that's really the story of the team. We've said it time and time again. You've got to get the buckets when it matters most, and right now, it is a Sahara Desert out there. They are not getting anything to fall.
You set it up perfectly. That's been the story all season. They just haven't been able to come up with crucial second-half buckets, and that's what wrote their obituary against UCF. That's what wrote their obituary against WVU. The last string of 3 tough losses have all been from a lack of second-half effort, which has brought them back to 500.
It's going to be Colorado basketball. Just saw the official point to the basket. Oh, it's going to be Cincinnati basketball. My fault. Saw the official point towards the direction of Colorado, but no, they're going to give it to Cincinnati. So Cincinnati with possession, 61-54, with 6:17 left, a 7-point game here in Cincinnati.
Jizzle James set to inbound it.
James on the left side of the baseline now, lobbing it up to Baba Miller. Baba Miller trying to get to Celestine off the screen. Sham will just play it back to Baba Miller. Miller now inside the paint. Miller back out to James. James picked up by Hargress. James, tough shot. and it's not going to go, and finally rebounded by the Buffaloes. You're wondering if you're going to see another offensive rebound by the Bearcats. Now with Johnson. Now with Hargress. Hargress now to Mikolai. Mikolai thought about it, now trying to get free. Johnson. Now Mikolai will step into the paint, guarded by Sham. Mikolai, tough finish at the rim. A 5-point game here in Cincinnati, 61-56.
McKaylee glides past the towering arms of Sham, gets the layup off the glass.
5:35 left to play in the second half. James working on Hargress. James now setting the screen, calling for the screen rather. James now retreating back out to Day Thomas. Thomas looking for an option. He'll pop a three, and it's good! Day Thomas with a crucial 3-point shot for the Bearcats, an 8-point game here in Cincinnati.
The heat check three-pointer falls for Day Thomas, a much-needed bucket for the Bearcats.
5:07 left to play. Mikolai gets it from Hargress. Mikolai spinning, working on Xiam. Mikolai goes up, no foul. Sanders now with the offensive rebound for the Buffaloes. Sanders working on Celestine. Sanders misses the layup. Now Baba Miller taking it the other way. Miller now retreating a little bit, trying to take some of this time off the clock. An 8-point game here in Cincinnati. Now Day Thomas working inside and gets the bucket to go. A 10-point game now in Cincinnati. Hargress. And a timeout by Colorado. And the Bearcats now move that lead up to 10 points.
The little push shot from Day Thomas finds the hoop and gives Cincinnati the momentum back. Much needed layup completed by Day Thomas, puts the lead back to double digits. Day Thomas has taken control of this game when it's been needed most in these final 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's done a great job. Well, now at a timeout, we'll take a quick one too. You're listening to Bearcast Radio. Well, welcome back to Fifth Third Arena for the conclusion of the Bearcats and Buffaloes. We thought this game might have been over at the start of the second half, but now only a 10-point game. Cincinnati leading 66-56 with 4:24 left.
Cincinnati Stadium crew trying to get this crowd back in it. They've been stressing in the bleachers pretty much this entire second half, watching what we've seen so often from these Bearcats happen again. It's nice to hear the stadium loud again.
Ranchik to inbound for the Buffaloes. Now with Johnson. Screen from Ranchik, and the ball is loose. Ranchik recovering, dives on it. And it will be Cincinnati ball. A possession arrow points towards the Bearcats.
sloppy basketball. Sloppy basketball from Colorado when they needed it to be clean the most.
A 10-point game. Now Miller inbounds it to James. James now steps over the seed ball. James now into Miller. Baba Miller at the top of the key. Baba Miller now stepping inside the paint. Miller sizing up. Baba Miller fading away, and it's good. A 12-point game now, 68-56. Hargress and the Buffaloes trying to get their way back in it with time dwindling down. Hargress now gets a screen. Hargress now back to Mikolai. Mikolai now lines up at three. His three-point shot is no good. Baba Miller grabs the board for the Bearcats.
7-0 run over the last minute and a half for the Bearcats. Momentum definitely favors Cincinnati.
James now working towards the right side. James back out to Thomas at the top of the key. Here comes the double team. Now laying it off to Miller. Miller now in the corner to Sincere Harris. Harris fighting inside. Now out to Baba Miller. Miller's three-pointer, and it rattles in and out. Would have been to extend the lead to 15. Now Hargress. Now working inside. Now back with Ranchik. Ranchik now laying it off to Johnson. Johnson back to Hargress. Hargress now inside. Ranchik. His three-pointer is no good. Rebound by Mikolai and recovers. Mikolai now to Dak. Dak lines up a three. His three-pointer is good. It's a 68-59, a 9-point game here as we go down to the wire. 2:45 left to play.
Bangot Dak shoots the ball extremely well for a big man, shooting 26% from the three so far this year.
Day Thomas now inside. Thomas going up and blocked by Mikolai, kept alive, and it's going to be Buffalo basketball. A huge call there, and a great play by Dak to hit it off the foot of Day Thomas to keep the possession.
A lot of contact for Day Thomas, slicing through, trying to get that layup to fall.
A 9-point affair, 68-59, 2:28 left. Dak now with Ranchik, now with Hargress. Hargress calling for him to go down low. Now Hargress is going to go himself, trying to get some off-ball movement. Hargress now with it on the other side of the floor. Hargress spinning away, now pass to Johnson. Sincere Harris defending closely, and a foul. Colorado in the bonus.
Wes Miller unhappy about that call.
So now to shoot the 1-and-1.
Maybe a generous call there.
Johnson now with it. And it is no good. Baba Miller with the rebound. 9-point game with 2 minutes left. James now slowing everything up. James now with it. James fighting. Now to Sincere Harris. He'll lay it back out to James. 13 seconds on the shot clock. James gets a screen from Thomas. James now the double pressure. Almost stepped over the backcourt line was Thomas. 5 seconds left. Thomas, James, what do you got? No good. Rebounded by the Buffaloes. Ranchik now with it. Down by 9. Ranchik now to Mikolai. Now with Hargress. Hargress now down low and a foul. No bucket as he let that one fly, so he'll go to the line. The Buffaloes now in the double bonus.
James had the chance for a potential dagger there. Just missed it. Hargress will go to the line for free throws to bring it even closer.
Yeah, a 9-point game in the 1-and-1. Sorry, not in the double bonus, now at 9 fouls. Stats updated so quickly, I thought it was going to be the 10th foul committed by the Bearcats.
Scoring drought for the Bearcats last 2.5 minutes.
The pressure free throw from Hargress is good.
Bearcat lead now cut to 8.
So originally that was, I thought it was a reach-in foul, but it's actually a shooting foul. So Hargress will shoot 2. So 68-60, Hargress, his free throw is good. Now a 68-61 game, a 7-point affair with 1:32 left.
Celestine checks in for Harris, trying to add some size.
Now Baba Miller trying to inbound, now pressured into Thomas, and that is going to be Buffalo basketball with a 7-point deficit and a minute and a half left.
The full court press from the Buffaloes pays off, as that will clip off of Day Thomas and go out in favor of the Colorado Buffaloes.
Hargris and Mikolai ran over there and trapped Thomas right in that corner. Could have been done any better. Now Johnson trying to get free. Ranchik gets it. Ranchik sizing up on James. Ranchik out to Dak. Hargris, his three is good! 68-64, a 4-point game with 1:22 left here in Cincinnati, coming down to the wire.
It's a really close game, 68-64. The 21-point deficit has been cut to 4. 1 minute, 20 seconds remain in the second half.
And the Bearcat faithful here in attendance tonight just disbelieved by these last 7 minutes from the Buffaloes.
Fans are beginning to file out. I'm speechless.
You know what? I never understand that as a fan. You come to a game, just stay for the entire time, unless it is obviously out of hand. This is a 4-point basketball game with a minute and 22 left. The Buffaloes have not quit tonight, and it is shown with 122, 68-64. Both teams at 9 fouls, so 1 foul by either team is going to put them in the double bonus.
Surely it can't happen again. Surely the Bearcats can't let another huge second half lead slip through their fingers once again.
And the Bearcats with 2 timeouts, Colorado only with 1 timeout, so the Bearcats have a little real estate to get free, and the foul is called, and we'll send James to the line to shoot 2.
James, some high pressure free throws coming into this game, shooting 75% from the charity stripe. High pressure free throws in a big leverage spot for Jizzle James.
Yeah, James now to shoot 2. (68-64). James, his first one is good. James' 5th point of the afternoon. Quiet night for him. Baba Miller working on a double-double, 22 and 10, and tagged along 4 assists. He's definitely been the player of the game for the Bearcats. 69-64, and the second one is good. So a 6-point game here in Cincinnati.
Fifth Third Arena takes a big, deep breath.
Hargris and Johnson got fouled, and it's going to be Colorado basketball. They're calling it a kick ball violation, so the Bearcats lucky to avoid the foul there instead of the call in. Wes Miller's going to spend a timeout.
Sincere Harris was caught celebrating on the wrong half of the basketball court. Had to rush to defense, forcing a Wes Miller timeout.
Yeah, and Wes Miller just trying to get his guys to gather, because this basket here in this possession is going to be absolutely vital. So they actually are going to challenge this.
We await the call as Fifth Third Arena no longer silent. The crowd has gotten back into this one. Still a very close game. Not a fan, well, a couple fans in the bleachers are sitting down, but most of them are standing up. This is a big leverage spot for Cincinnati, trying to fight to stay above 500.
Cincinnati 8-8 on the year. Trying to get that 9th win, the first win of Big 12 play. It's going to be Cincinnati basketball. The call has been reversed. 6-point game here in Cincinnati, and you wonder if the Buffaloes will even try to foul here.
The field goal percentage from the Buffaloes on the first half was 34.6. They have brought that all the way back up to 45% here in this second half.
They regressed to the mean of shooting around that 40% mark.
And something to note as well, the Bearcats shot 57.1% in the first half, also brought back down to 45%. The referees will convene here
Interesting what we're going to talk about here. Time on the clock is the only thing I can potentially think of in this situation, but nothing added, or referees are now blowing the whistle to play on. Jizzle James to inbound for the Bearcats. He's got Harris. Everybody moving around. Thomas now trapped. Thomas is just going to have to heave it over, and Jizzle James barely escapes the play. Now James having to pass it off to Miller. Miller back to James. James now waiting, and no foul. James now with Harris. Harris goes up, and they're going to call a foul, no basket.
I think that was the right decision, a foul there. Sincere Harris had a clear lane to the basket. Cincinnati now with the double bonus. Colorado has committed 11 fouls.
So Sincere Harris to go to the line to potentially make this an 8-point game if he makes the 2 from the charity stripe. Harris lines up the first one, and it rattles in.
Sincere Harris has been shooting 60.4% from the charity stripe going into this game. Makes a very big free throw to put the lead to 7 with just under a minute remaining.
Yeah, Harris will now go to shoot the second one. And the second one is no good. Rebounded by Mikolai. Mikolai now with Johnson. Johnson moves in. Johnson goes to the lane, and it's good. 71-66. The Bearcats trying to trap Celestine Harris. Stuck, and the Bearcats escape with a foul call on the loose ball.
That was aggressive defense being played by the Buffs. They fouled Cincinnati, but it was a close call. Dede Thomas will go to the charity stripe. Foul by McKaylee, excuse me.
McKaylee committed the foul, and now Thomas to go to the line to shoot 2. Thomas's first one rolls in.
Thomas really the only consistent free throw shooter on this Cincinnati side. 91% coming into this game.
A 6-point lead for the Bearcats. Thomas makes the second, and now you even wonder if the Buffaloes will try to get off another shot.
7-point lead for the Bearcats as Jizzle James will check out.
James night most likely over. Down the drive, echoing through Fifth Third Arena right now. Johnson trying to cut inside. Johnson now back out to Mikolai, and he lost it, got back on top of it, and it will be over and back.
The signature Bearcat defense, I'm going to say it, puts the nail in the coffin for the Colorado Buffaloes.
It does.
As the fans now begin to fully file out of the stadium.
The Bearcats inbound to Baba Miller. Baba thought about letting it shoot, and they'll send him to the line to shoot 2.
So the Buffs do decide to foul. They don't think it's over.
No, they do not. Baba Miller to shoot 2, working on a 22-point night. 7-point game.
Fills up the rim to put the lead to 8. Further cementing what I believe to be a Bearcat win.
The first conference win of the new year.
Of the season, a much, much, much needed win.
Miller's second free throw is good. Now Hargris having to move. Bearcats, or the Buffaloes rather, have to get a shot up. a 3-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Nikolai, it's no good, airballed it. And Thomason, they'll say Baba Miller actually stepped out of bounds. So it'll be Colorado basketball with 17 seconds on the shot in the game clock, but 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Digital James Knight isn't over. He checks in for Jalen Celestine.
James checking in, trying to get his point total. Kosaris now to Johnson. Johnson lines up a 3 and he's fouled. An 8-point game now with Johnson fouled on the 3-point shot.
Obscenities being shouted from the fans.
Not loving it.
Sinks the first one.
Johnson, the freshman, 16 points on the evening tonight. A pretty good showing from a very talented player. Knocks the other two down. 67 to 6, now 68. 75 to 68. A 7-point game.
Johnson proving why he's the 3rd highest scoring freshman in the Big 12. Can't get the last one to fall.
And Colorado Buffalo's committing to foul. 10 seconds on the game clock. 75-68.
Buffalo's drawing this one out longer than maybe it needs to go.
Absolutely no reason to foul there.
10 seconds remain on the clock. Tad Boyle is not one to give up.
Sincere Harris at the line. 75-68, a 7-point game.
Sincere Harris now 2 for 5 on the night from the charity stripe.
The Bearcats shooting 69% from the line as a team. And the second one is good.
Bearcats getting out-rebounded by the
And they're
Buffs.
still rolling this thing out. Hargris now inside. Hargris now to Kalani in the middle, and that one is no good. And they... What are you doing? (76-68), an 8-point game, and 2 seconds on the clock.
It's not over till it's over, baby.
No, it's not over until there are 3 zeros on the clock, and that's what we've seen here tonight.
Baba Miller now at the charity stripe. Looking for his 25th and 26th points of the game. He misses his first.
Baba Miller at the line, 24 points tonight, 4 assists, a really good performance for the Bearcats.
Good for his 25th point of the night. Bangot Dak will throw up the last shot.
And almost made a half-court shot to end the game, but the Bearcats win by 9 points at home and get a very needed Big 12 win.
The Bearcats never trailed for a second in this game, and yet it still feels like they survived. They got out-rebounded 33-32. Got 3 more assists, but the turnover margin is where Colorado lost this game. 17 turnovers to 15 assists compared to the Bearcat 18 assists to 10 turnovers.
And that is where Colorado loses the game, like you just said, a 15-17 assist to turnover ratio. That's just not going to get it done on a strong defensive team like Cincinnati. But with that, the Bearcats grab their first Big 12 win of the season as they host Iowa State on Saturday. You've been listening to Bearcats Radio. I'm Matthew Lynn. Joined alongside me tonight was Miles Essenpreis, signing off.